Alright, here I am, Lil 83, with a new Top 10 Countdown video. This shall be Top 10 Game Boy Advance games. The Game Boy Advance, one of my favorite systems ever. I've always steered towards the portables for some reason. I don't know, just something about their games was always awesome. I always loved the games on there. But, this is my top 10, it's my opinion. If you have your own top 10 or something, comments, reply video, so on and so forth, and I hope you enjoy. Starting off this wonderful list is a game called Mario vs. Donkey Kong. It's trying to, bring back the old theme of when they were enemies, but the whole story of the game is Mario has his own toys, and Donkey Kong doesn't have his own toys, so he steals all of Mario's toys, and you got to get the toys back. It's kind of got 3D graphics a little. I don't know, it's kind of weird graphics. By the way, the picture I chose is completely random. I just choose cool pictures usually, unless I can find one of like a really good representation of the game. But off subject there. Mario vs. Donkey Kong, you play as Mario, you collect toys in each level, unlock doors, overcome obstacles. You're a little more acrobatic as Mario, I gotta say. Not really jumping wise, but you can walk on your hands, you pick up a lot of stuff. I forgot what all you do. But it's a really fun game. It's slightly challenging towards the end levels. And it's just, simple, fun, good to play, easy to learn. Overall, decent Game Boy game, and good enough to make my top 10, which again is in no particular order, just my top 10. But that's all for this one. Heading on to the next number. Next on the list is definitely one of my more favorite games on the Game Boy, even though this ain't in no real order. Dragon Ball Advanced Adventure. It's actually one of my favorite Dragon Ball games, now that I think about it, because it's a side-scroller beat-em-up, which fits Dragon Ball very well. You play as young Goku, because this is original Dragon Ball, notice I didn't say Z, and you pretty much go through the Dragon Ball adventure story, you know what I'm saying? You start off, you learn the Kamehameha under Master Roshi, you end up facing Piccolo, so on and so forth. And the fighting's very well done. As you go through the game, you get leveled up Kamehameha and key powers, and you learn some power attacks with your staff. There's even a couple stages where you actually fly on the Flying Nimbus and fight. That's cool. Text dialogue, good pictures. The graphics are really sweet. Very nice sprites. And it has a little versus battle mode, which is real cool because it lets you play as multiple characters from the game. You get to play as Goku, Krillin, not exactly Roshi, but Jackie Chun, I think. Spent a little joke at Jackie Chan. You get to play as him. He's basically Master Roshi. Tao, General Tao, Piccolo himself, which is pretty cool. And there's a way to unlock mini dude mode where you can play as people like Chiatsu and Tens in the normal versus mode. But overall, very awesome game. It's really fun to play. A little addictive when you first play it. But very awesome and good enough to be on my list. So, on to the next number. Next on my list is definitely one of my favorite Game Boy Advance games. Probably one of my favorite Game Boy games ever for unknown reasons. But you should be slightly familiar if you viewed some of my videos on my channel. It is Hamtaro, Ham Ham Heartbreak. Very fun game, very awesome. You play as Hamtaro, which not sure of his origins, but I remember him being on Toonami. That's how I kind of got into him. It's like right after Dragon Ball Z, Hamtaro. It's like, what? But anyway, Hamtaro's cool. He's a little hamster, if you couldn't tell from the picture, and he teams up with Bijou, the Captain Falcon. I forgot to do that. But Bijou, the white hamster, and they go to stop Spat. Spat is a little bastard, to say. He's trying to destroy love because he does not feel loved himself. The common bully type. very funny. The game's got the humor. It's got good graphics. It's I don't want to call it a puzzle game per se, but you got to find words and do stuff to continue on the adventure, and it's just I just really like it. If you want to know more, the best thing to do really is to watch my Hamtaro Ham Ham Heartbreak playthrough I did on my own channel here, and I've heard people liked it, you know, so give that a watch if you want to know more, because I have a hard time explaining. But moving on to the next number. Next on the list is Metroid Zero Mission. This is actually one of my favorite Metroid games ever. I just has an overall appeal to me, but it's generally a remake of the very first Metroid, but they prettied it up, made it better, probably put in some more power-ups as well, and a whole new like section of gameplay where you play as Zero Suit Samus, which is pretty cool. I think that actually introduced Zero Suit Samus to the world. Officially anyway, you know, as a playable character and so on. But very awesome game. If you like classic Metroid, you'll definitely enjoy this. It's got all the original power-ups, plus I think more, as I said. You know, the speed run, morph ball, screw attack, you know, some armor you can get, long shot, so on. Classic Metroid gameplay, as I said. Go around, get power-ups, defeat bosses, explore, which is a big thing. But it's just very fun, you know. It's just very nice, very enjoyable game. A little challenging at parts, but, you know, it is Metroid. That will happen sometimes. I don't know why I have my microphone turned. There we go. That's really all I have to say about it. I mean, I don't know how else to put it, so I guess I'll just go on. Very good game, very awesome, you should try it. Next on the list is Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga. Very awesome game, one of the best Game Boy Advance games there are. It's a RPG with Mario, kind of like Paper Mario, well, not like Paper Mario, but more like Mario RPG. You play as two characters, more or less, though. Mario and Luigi. Yes, Luigi gets some action. And you all go to the Bean Kingdom. I forgot what it's called, the Bean Kingdom. But it's not the Mushroom Kingdom. And, like, just for vacation or something. And then, of course, all hell breaks loose. And, like, Cackletta and Fawful steal Peach. Fawful, a timeless enemy. Very awesome. Cackletta's pretty cool, too. And, you know, it's an RPG. You walk around towns, you get, not necessarily get ammo. You buy, better weapons, or you just get better weapons, but you buy better clothes, which is kind of like armor. You get power attacks, fight bosses, you know, turn-based fighting. It's just overall very fun. The humor's awesome. Even get like electric powers for Luigi and fire for Mario. All kinds of new faces like Prince Peasley and, like I said, Fawful. Yoshi's are there. Professor Egad makes a cameo appearance. Just overall a very good game, and definitely one you should try if you haven't. And it spawned 3 games so far, 2 on the DS and 1 on the Game Boy. The second one ain't really all that. It's okay. The third one's fantastic though. But that's all I can really say about it. So, moving on. It's an awesome game. Next on the list, of course, you're talking Game Boy, you're going to talk about Pokemon. So, out of the ones on the Game Boy Advance, I chose Pokemon Emerald, because out of Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, you know, you got to get Emerald because it's more or less the definitive version, because it's just a mix of the first 2. They always do that with Pokemon, you know, red, blue, yellow, gold, silver, crystal, so on and so forth. Very awesome game. Always liked the Ruby and Sapphire generation of Pokemon. I don't know why. Just always appealed to me very well. But, you know, general Pokemon, you start out, you're a kid, you help the professor, and then you end up going on a grand journey to be the very best that probably a lot of people were, honestly, by now. But, nonetheless, it's pretty cool, you know, all the new Pokemon that's introduced, the new land, Hoenn, Uh, it's just, you know, it has some cool places, some cool new legendaries. Groudon, Rayquaza, Kyogre's okay. I about said the dogs. No, the dogs ain't in it. I think Latios and Latias was in it. Yeah. Maybe Deoxys. This is probably when he was introduced, I think. But, overall, just, you know, if you know Pokemon, you know what to expect here. It's added some new stuff, some new Pokemon, some new lands, some new trainers, etc., etc. But it's a very fun game if you haven't played it and you're a fan of RPGs or Pokemon. Should definitely give it a try. It's very good. And moving on. Next on the list is a Kirby game, naturally, because if you're talking Game Boy, one of the things you talk about is Kirby. He's one of the Game Boy leaders, shall we say. But this is Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland. Sure, there were other Kirbys, like, what was it? And the Amazing Mirror and whatnot. But this one, in my opinion, was a lot better than the Amazing Mirror. And there was probably a couple others. But this one was definitely my favorite of the bunch on the Game Boy Advance. Kirby games, you gotta love them. Simple gameplay, definitely not the hardest thing, but it's simple fun, you know, using the powers. And, Falcon punching everyone, you know. Kirby can do that. Fucking asshole messaging me when I just told him I'm making a video. Off subject, let's move on. General Kirby game, kind of tied in with the cartoon that was out right then on the Fox box. It is a decent enough cartoon, but you end up fighting the same kind of bad guy at the end, who's kind of tough. But you get the powers, you try to save Dreamland, you know, this, that. General Kirby game, but it's, I don't know, there's something about it, and Kirby games are definitely for people that like to collect in games, because there's always a lot of stuff to get in Kirby games. But, I have nothing else to say about it. You know, I'm just a general fan of Kirby, so definitely one was going to make this list. So, moving on. Next on my list is Sonic Battle. Kind of a, you know, a head twister, Sonic-wise, because it's actually a fighting game, which we haven't seen in a long time for Sonic. I think the last one was on Sonic CD or something. And it wasn't really all that good. This one's okay. I like this. I liked it enough to put it on my top 10 here. But Sonic Battle, there's a story mode and a battle mode, naturally. Story mode's really cool. It's a pretty interesting story. Basically, Robotnik brings back a robot named Emerald, and what he can do is actually see other people fight and use their fighting techniques and use their, you know, their moves. So you actually play through as, I can't remember if you just play through as Emerald or as a bunch of characters. I haven't played it in a while, the story mode at least. I've played Battle a little. So it escapes me, but, no, you play as different people. I remember now. You go through, I think, as every main character, I think, which is pretty cool. And of course, I mute my MSN and someone texts me on the phone. So there's still Falcon punches to be had. That's fantastic. But Sonic Battle, you can play Sonic, Tails, I'm pretty sure Amy, Knuckles, of course. You can even play as a robot that looks just like E102 Gamma from Sonic Adventure. And it's cool because there's actually some canon here, and they're like, oh my god, I thought you died. Like, what are you doing, Gamma? What's up, man? And Gamma's all evil again or something. I think he is just a clone. You get to fight Chaos Zero, another thing from Sonic Adventure, which was badass. One of the reasons I love this game and why I chose the picture I did. Play Shadow. Can't play as Robotnik, but the last boss fight's pretty cool. But it's just overall pretty decent fun, you know, fight around against your favorite Sonic characters with your favorites. Just, you know. And Emerald, if you get the ultimate moveset, which is exactly like Sonic's, but, you know, multiplied by 10, he's like the best character in the game. And he's a pretty cool character overall when you get down to it. That's really all I have to say about it. It's a pretty good game. You should definitely try it if you like Sonic or fighting games. So, moving on. Next on my list is Wario Land 4. The Wario Land series is I'm pretty sure it's a fairly popular Game Boy series. It started on the original Game Boy, actually, because I got the original. I got Wario Land. Yeah, I got the original. I think I might have 2 as well, and I might even have 3. I don't know. But Wario Land, it's a very good. It's very its own thing. It's not like Mario at all. Like, cause you're Wario. It's a little bit darker. You know, nothing too extreme. The later games are like 3 and 4 are. Yeah, you can transform like into a zombie, a bat. He has different forms like that. It's pretty cool. You know, you run around. What all do you do? You run around, yeah, and you try to usually get some sort of treasure is the ultimate goal. And you got to fight bosses. You got your charge move, your jump, your ground pound. You can throw. Just, you know, you got this giant running attack. It's overall very well done. I love the series. I think 3 is my favorite, but it was on the Game Boy Color, so 4 is making this list because I love it too. And 4's got specifically mini games, all kinds of different levels where you gotta get what you're after, and then you're timed to where you gotta leave before the time runs out, kind of like Metroid a little there. I don't really have much else to say about it. It's a very good game. You should definitely try it. Wario Land 4. It's awesome. Last on my list, but certainly not the least. This is probably... Let me take a look here. I would almost go as far to say this is tied with Hamtaro and Pokemon as my favorite Game Boy Advance game. And this, as you can see by the picture, Legend of Zelda, the Minish Cap. How can you go wrong with Zelda? Except for the CDI games, you can't. I mean, it's hard to. But it's a very, very awesome game. Actually, Capcom had to do with it. They worked on it, which is different, but for the better. I think the game's better for it. I don't know what they brought to the table, but the game's amazing. It's got awesome artwork, you know, the sprite work's really good. All kinds of new weapons, items, so on, which is always nice for Zelda games. But some classics do return, like the, you know, the boomerang. I want to say the slingshot's there, but I'm not entirely sure. And then, but the story is Vati. He wants some kind of power. And he releases monsters, and he's looking for this ultimate power to make him like the ultimate wizard, but he's actually a Minish, and the Minish help you out throughout the story to help you rebuild the sword that can defeat Vati, and it kind of hinders back to 4 Sword as well. Like there's certain spots where you can make multiple links for a limited amount of time, and they can help you push it and whatnot, which is interesting puzzle-wise. But you upgrade your sword, you know, you fight bosses, you go around, you talk to the townspeople. The humor's there, it's very funny. There's some side quests a little bit. You can learn all kinds of sword attacks from the Sword Master by potions. There's some like little books you can read too. I think those help somehow. You can collect figurines using, you put in a seashell and it gives you a figurine, and there's a bunch of those, so collecting's definitely there for people that like to do that. And there's this little mechanic with kinstones is what they're called, where you match up kinstones with another person. That might start a little side quest sort of deal, or they might give you an item. You never know, like all kinds of stuff happens, and that's real cool. But it's definitely one of my favorites, top favorites for the Game Boy Advance. And one of my favorite Zelda games ever, if I'm honest about it. I don't know, just something about it keeps me coming back. I've been playing it a little lately. It's very fun still. And if you haven't played it, that's a damn shame. You really should. It's really good. But that's all I can say. That's all for the top 10 Game Boy Advance list. I hope you enjoyed. And like I said at the beginning, if you have your own games you want to mention, put them in the comments, make a response video, etc., etc. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm just going to ramble here until the end of the world, I guess. No, probably not. But anyway, that's all. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Yeah.